Hey guys, this is Juan here from the Partner Visa Academy. We're going to be doing an Instagram live today with Joanne. We're going to be talking about the ways that the bootcamp is beneficial for you if you are looking into completing your application shortly. If you've been waiting around, you just need that extra bit of support. So we're going to be inviting Joanne. She's going to tell us how it's going to be beneficial in your case. All right, invite.
Hello, Juan.
Hello, Joanne. How are you? This worked out perfectly. So
Excellent.
we're good. We're good
I,
to
I was
go.
I was thinking social media did not like us to be in the same spot.
I
Last week
know.
it wouldn't let us be together on Facebook. This week it wouldn't let us be together on Insta. I was like, "Rah, what's happening?" But we're
No,
here.
no, no. We managed to get it across. So look, Joanne. Essentially, I was just talking. Telling the audience that what we're going to be talking today. So we're going to be talking about the boot camp. The boot camp's coming up next month, and it's just a way to make sure that you get the application done and dusted. Some of our members might have been, they started the process, they wanted to do it, but they might have got lost along the way. So this is what the Partner Visa Academy Bootcamp is all about, to make sure that, you stay accountable, you have a plan, and you have a team to work with. So I guess I'd like to, let Joanne talk a little bit more about the accountability, how it works with the bootcamp.
Okay, so Juan, I guess some things that we see with people in the academy is procrastination. They have a really good intention and they really plan to get this application in and they sign up and they get at the start they watch loads of videos and they are totally on it and then they just sort of get a bit lost and life takes over and we all know that we all have many things to do on a daily or weekly basis and so we see that with our clients and it's not a boot camp that's about me shouting at you. It's certainly not about me, coming after you with my bright pink boxing gloves and whooping you. But what it is about is just we're going to touch base with you every week. We're going to set you tasks. We're going to hold you to account on those tasks. We're going to understand if you don't achieve every task. Some of the
Mm,
things like police checks can be really difficult depending on the countries that you need them
mm,
from. And so if there is a reason why you're not able to do that week's tasks, we're going to help you overcome the hurdles that you've faced. And so it's not really about making you accountable to me, Joanne, as such, or even to you, Juan. It's about making you accountable to yourselves as a couple. And I think that's what's important is ultimately you guys want to get this application in. You want to have your happier ever after in
mm,
Australia. You might already be here and you just want to extend your partner's time and make sure they don't have to go. You might be overseas and desperate to get here as soon as possible. And we want you to have that happen. We want that happy ever after for you. So please don't think we're talking about holding you accountable like some kind of mean, nasty teacher would. We're talking about holding you accountable to that promise that you've made to each other that you are starting your happier ever after now. And so what we like about bootcamp is we have set tasks and we keep you on track on a weekly basis. And I think that works really well for a lot of people who would otherwise maybe go a little bit off track from week to week.
for sure, for sure. And there's something that I think that you touched on there, which I wanted to talk about, which is the police checks. And I guess, some of these, are not really answers that you find on textbooks. They're more about based on experience and how the community and working as a community itself on our Facebook groups really helps. There was one time we were talking, Joanne, and you mentioned about the a police record. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how it works as a team that we're working together in this partner application, partner visa?
So literally just last week, one of our
Yeah.
academy members reached out to me and they've already lodged, but they're struggling to get fingerprints. So some police checks require you to get fingerprints for certain countries and they're struggling. They're in New South Wales and every police station they've phoned says they won't do the police checks. And this is something we increasingly see. So we just popped a post on the academy and literally within about 1 hour on the private Facebook group, there was literally 7 or 8 different people had popped on and shared their experience. And
Mhm.
police checks are so different from country to country. I myself, I air task somebody in Shanghai to get my Chinese police check for my partner
Mm,
visa application. Now that was a few years ago, but
mm,
often it's about speaking to somebody who's already gone through it to know how to go
mm.
about getting the police check. And I think what the Academy is a wonderful community of people from all over. And I think what I love especially with things like the police check is people that were answering the question aren't people that have pending partner visa applications. They've already had their partner visa granted, and yet
That's
they
right.
still care enough to hop on and pop an answer up. And I think that's a wonderful testament to just what a supportive platform it is.
That's right. I think that's a very important point. I think Facebook and that community that we have, it's probably one of our biggest assets. So when you are joining, DIY or the peace of mind at the moment, you are being part of that community, which allows you to, more than just the videos, more than just the templates, you will have questions coming up and you will be getting them answered by professionals, either migration agents or the group itself. It is monitored by us. So you will be sure that if the answer is left there, it means that it is a good answer. Because sometimes, other people have good experience and they do answer the right things. So we'll just leave it there. But and there is a plan that we do as well when we look into the boot camp. How does it work? What's the sort of plan that you do for people when they are joining the boot camp?
So, every partner visa application is totally different, Juan. Every
Mm.
couple comes at us and tells us their love story, and sometimes it's something similar to what I've heard before, but it's never exactly the same. Every single relationship is different.
Yeah.
But when you put together an application for a partner visa,
Mm.
you still use the same recipe for success. You still use the same template. And that's what the bootcamp plan is. It's breaking that preparation time frame down into 5 weeks of, I don't want to call them bite-sized chunks, but
Mm.
essentially that's what it is. It's taking the partner visa application, it's taking away all of that potential to get overwhelmed or to get stressed, and it's breaking it down into weekly tasks. And so when we say it gives you a plan, it really does just give you a recipe or a blueprint for success. And what we find is the biggest hurdle for a lot of couples isn't that they don't want to lodge the application. It isn't that they don't have the evidence. It's that they don't have a plan. So they're just sort of throwing themselves against this massive, massive high wall that just seems so overwhelming. And what
Yeah.
we're saying is, no, we've got a plan. We're going to do the first part of the wall. And then we're going to do the
Mm.
second part of the wall. And you know what? 5 weeks later, you are over that wall and the
That's
plan has
right.
come together. And it doesn't matter what your love story is. I love reading the love stories. I love chatting in rooms about the love stories. It doesn't matter how different or crazy your love story is. Essentially, that plan works for you as a couple. And we've had some awesome love stories.
Yeah, there was recently, you mentioned to me before that there was someone who got married online, a gamer. How did that happen? How was
Well,
that story?
well, it was like an online game marriage before obviously they got married properly and legally,
Sure.
but they had met in a game and they basically had their wedding in a game and they had characters at their wedding who are in real life friends. And I just thought that was fantastic. My favorite part, Juan, is always the love story. It's always the
Yeah.
reading those statements if I'm reviewing an application and feeling that
Mm.
sense of, do you know if you ever meet new people? And my husband and I
Mm.
will always comment on this. One of the first things a couple will get asked is, "Oh, so how did you meet?" I love
Yeah.
that story.
Yeah.
I'm one of the ones to ask that story. And what I
Yeah.
see with all of the partner visa applications is just how crazily different, most relationships are, and that's absolutely wonderful. I've heard some wonderful stories over the years.
I'm sure you have, when you review the applications at the end. So, when you are part of the academy, there are two options, the DIY and the peace of mind. On the peace of mind option, you will have Joanne reviewing your application. She'll be looking at your evidence, your statements, everything that you've done. So I think that's where Joanne gets her enjoyment from, reading those statements,
My favorite part.
seeing your application, seeing how your relationship came about. So I guess this was just a little snippet of what the bootcamp is. And if you are interested, get in contact with us, book a free live demo with me, and I'll be more than happy to explain to you how it works. And if you're already part of the academy, let us know so we can put you into the bootcamp. All right. Well, look, thank you very much for the time, Joanne. I'm
I've
going to be
got
saying
one thing
goodbye.
to add, Juan. I've got
Sure,
one thing to add. So
sure.
my favorite part probably isn't reading the love stories or doing the review. My absolute favorite part is when a little notification pops up in my either my phone or the screen of my laptop, and it's somebody who's just posted on our Facebook page that their visa has been granted. And that for me is honestly because that's what it's all about. Lodging it, that's your task, that's your target. But what
Sure.
it's all about is being granted a visa.
That's
So
right.
the one thing that trumps reading a good love story is that little notification that says my visa's just been granted. And I
That's
could nearly have a
amazing.
tear in my eye saying
Yeah,
that. But that's my favorite part.
that's 100%. That's correct. That's what makes us, tick. That's what makes our day go by. But look, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for joining us. That's Joanne. My name is Juan. So you'll be seeing me when you do the free live demo, and I hope to see you around. Bye bye. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.